it requires specific level of expertise and knowledge in the domain. Okay, so you may not be able to do the third pass to the every paper that you want to do, because here it said that virtually re-implement the paper in your mind. Okay, how did he do that? Acha, if he has done virtual machine migration, okay, he's considering this thing, he's not considering that thing. Okay, so just write it down. He's not considering that stuff. Okay, he is using this stuff. What happens if this happen over there? What happens if the link is broken? What happens if switch becomes corrupted? What happens if there is a security breach? Lots of stuff might come to your mind. Okay, so this is how you can do the third thing. Read the implementation details, read the algorithms, go to the proofs, go to the modeling, actually try to open the equations, okay, and try to virtually re-implement the paper. Okay, he might have done this thing, and then look what he has done. Okay, here he says that he has taken this assumption. Here he says that he has considered this specific machine, or this specific bandwidth, or this specific technique. Okay, try to re-implement it. Go into the detail. Try to argue with the paper. Okay, that is making the same assumptions and the author. Recreate the work. By comparing this recreation with the actual paper, you can easily identify not only a paper's innovations, but also its hidden failings and assumptions. And this is very useful for you when you are able to find some hidden failings and assumptions. An assumption that this guy might not have mentioned, but you understood that he has not considered this thing, or he has considered this thing. And you can say, okay, this is invalid, or this actually limits the solution. So I will re-implement the solution or do the solution by considering this specific thing. Now you may understand what I meant by what is core problem. This is the hint for that what I say when I say narrow down core problem. What the problem are you doing? Now you know this was the main theme of the paper, this was the technique, this was the main contributions, or this was the main objective. However, the authors or the papers did all this stuff, but they were failed to consider this. They took this specific assumption, which you have to say is not very realistic. We should consider it in a different way. So that is how you find a narrowed down proper question statement. Now you can state the whole question. I have to find the abusing language in the Twitter. People have done this approach, or they used this one. However, this one was not considered, and this is the limitation of the thing. Or they have done this thing which is invalid. I am trying to use this specific thing to achieve that thing that was missing, that limitation, not the overall goal. You do not have to mention the overall goal. Rather, you should focus on the thing that you are trying to achieve or target that the other people have not targeted. Did you understand now what I mean, or what I meant whenever I say very narrowed down statement? So this is the crux. Okay, when you are here, it means you have found your problem statement, but make sure that you have understood or you have read enough literature, because you may be very happy, okay, I have found another problem, but I say when you go to the professor, he says this thing has been done, see, look at this paper, go, and you say, oh, isne wahi kiya hoga. Okay, that's why first of all, for all of the selected papers, downloaded papers, do the first pass. You will find some important thing. Then do the second pass on the selected, sub-selected ones. And from the second pass, select a small core, a small number of papers for the third pass that may give you lots of new ideas. Okay, clear? This may help you identify weakness and new room for work in the subject. Clear? Okay, मैंने कह दिया, आपने सुन लिया, बात खत्म. ठीक है, टाइम खत्म, क्लास खत्म. अब जाए कहीं जाके इसको देखेंगे एग्जाम्स में, जरा इनको रट्टा लगा लेंगे. It's not going to happen today, inshallah. I told you today is a different class. Let me see. Oh, we still have like 20, 25, 30 minutes. Don't worry. This class requires great attention to detail. Give attention to details now, each and everything. You cannot find a hidden weakness unless you read the paper very attentively. You cannot find the good things out of the paper unless you give full attention to the paper. Okay? Full attention to the details. You will identify and challenge every assumption in every statement. Try to challenge. Did this assumption, should this assumption work? Is it valid? Try to challenge. Now it comes, read critically. Now you have to read critically, each and everything. Be critical. Do the criticism. Okay? But always remember, you have to be constructive. You have to think constructively. Okay? Okay. You should think about how you yourself would present a particular idea. Okay, if instead of this guy, if it was you, how you would have tackled the problem? What sort of assumptions you would have taken? So now you can clearly distinguish your thinking from that one. And that is how you can say, okay, people have done this work specifically in this idea, but they have done it this way. I'm doing it that way. You are done. Now you have defended yourself. I know people have done it. People have even used the deep neural networks. However, they did like this. I'm doing like that. Simple. Okay? Or say, they have done like this. This has these limitations, these drawbacks, these false assumptions, unrealistic assumptions. May not work in that case. I'm only considering that case where this solution will not work. Okay? So there is a big problem, then there is a shorter version, and there is a shorter version, and there is a minute version, and then there is a narrowed down version of you. Clear? Okay. This comparison of the actual with the virtual lends sharp insight into the proof and presentation techniques. During this pass, you should also jot down new ideas for future work. At the end of this pass, you should be able to reconstruct the entire structure of the paper. Now you should be having entire structure of the paper, what the guy has done, how did he do, how did he prove, how did he implement it, how did he actually experimented, what sort of data sets did he use, or whatsoever. All the things you should be able to reconstruct it from the memory, and you should be able to identify its strong and weak points. Why strong? So that you can use it in some other way, or in some other problem, or in some other solution. And why the weak points? You may target the weak points to improve the solution. ठीक है? समझ आ गई? Good. So here is a tip for you. Whatever pass do you reach, whatever, whether you did the first pass, second, third, always note down your findings of that specific step. Save its title, generic summary, and specifically any useful information. Any useful information. For instance, this guy used a setup with 1000 notes, so you can write it down. This title was saying, or this guy experimented with 1000 notes. So in that presentation or during the paper, if anyone asks you, why did you choose 1000 notes? Because this guy has used. Okay, no one can ask you, no, that guy is a fool. Okay, he's a fool, I didn't know about that. You know, you told me, but now I have already done. Okay, I am full as well. Clear? It's an important subject. Sometimes you have read something and then you just went away, it went away, lots of papers you downloaded, and suddenly teacher asks you a question, आपने ये कहाँ से किया था? सर वो एक पेपर में पढ़ा था. कौन से पेपर में? अब कौन सा पेपर आप? How can I find? But if you make a document, write the title, just give your summaries, write the important things, then when you want to write, you should have everything available to choose from. Introduction, facts, figures, everything would be there. Okay? So whatever step do you make, whenever you read a paper, always try to save something out of it, because every paper definitely, no matter wherever it is published, it has something useful in it. It has. Okay? Cluster papers in folders and mark them red. Cluster, how cluster? Try to cluster them in folders and subfolders, for example, virtual machine migration, abusive language detection, or whatsoever. Then, for example, in abusive language detection, someone has used machine learning techniques, the other has used the expert systems, someone other may have used another thing like fuzzy logic or something like that. Then in machine learning, some people have used SVM, some may have used neural networks, some may have used regression techniques. So see how the things are clustering down. Okay? So cluster them down. So whenever you need something important, you have to go to that folder and see all what the stuff is going on. Okay? Use professional software like Mendeley Desktop, etc. There are lots of professional software like Mendeley's Desktop. They actually ask you to sign up an account, and then you can add your research papers into that one, and it actually synchronizes all the stuff at the web. So you can also note down some other stuff like your details and all that stuff in the Mendeley. So it will give you like a visual tree of whatever folder, whatever research papers you have, or you can search over it, and lots of stuff. So you should always use some professional software. Like I actually use Mendeley. Okay, so that's why I told it to you. So download Mendeley Desktop and start using it. It's not difficult. Okay, do not actually be reluctant to experiment and to try the new things. No, you are now a graduate student. That's what you are supposed to do. Always challenge the new things. Okay? Okay. So this one is the result of whatever stuff you read. Survey paper. Okay? Or at least your literature review. Paper reading skills are put to the test in doing a literature survey. You have to read tens of papers. Okay? Search for how you can do a survey or find the paper. Now we will be discussing that quickly. You have to read tens of papers. Search for 5 to 10 most recent papers from your area journals and tier 1 conferences. You should have tier 1 conferences or maybe tier 2, top 5 conferences. You can go, there are lots of websites that actually rank the conferences. So just find whoever has, like most of them has ranked which conferences. So just choose 5, 6, 3 top ranked conferences of your area and then your journals as well. Go for the ACM journals, go for the IEEE journals. Elsewhere journals are okay as well, but not as reputed as ACM or IEEE. You should get the real essence what the people are doing in IEEE reputed transactions and ACM transactions. So focus on those, okay? And the tier 1 conferences in your area. Do first pass. This is what you have to do. Do first pass, read their related work, choose related surveys. People may have done survey in that area. So that survey will provide you a broader aspect, okay, people have done in this way, and still these areas are open, and these are the papers that that discuss these stuff. So go first of all read the surveys in your area, really good surveys in your area. Do not go for the international one surveys, then you will waste your time over there most of the time. Look into the papers which cited description. This is another important aspect. For example, if I wrote a paper and someone other has cited me in his references, it means it's possible that that guy might be doing the same stuff, or actually taking my paper to a further down step. And this way you can also see if this paper has a limitation or a shortcoming, did someone other tackled it or not. So go into the citation of this paper. It's not difficult. We'll have a look at it, how it may work in the Google Scholar. So this is very important as well, how to search a paper. So first of all, use top journals in their area. For example, in engineering, in computer sciences, you have to go to the ACM and IEEE transactions or journals related to your area. First of all, go to them. Then you may look into the Elsevier, to the Wiley, to the Oxford, to the Cambridge, to the Springer, but at the second level. First of all, focus on the IEEE and ACM. Okay. Then the tier 1 conferences. Go to the latest proceedings of the tier 1 conferences, latest ones. So you can see there what are the emerging trends, what are the people working on. Also identify the key researchers. How you can find the key researchers? Because if you downloaded the papers and people are citing, because in the first step you have to go through the citations as well. Look, if a name reappears again and again, it means that is a guy working in this specific area. You may go to his website. You can find his most recent papers. You can also contact him. Okay? Go to their website and look what and where are they publishing. What and where are they publishing? Try to contact a researcher only after doing ample efforts and enough research in the area. We try to write an email to a professor. Sir, I have read your paper. I want to work in this area. Can you please give me some problem statement? And you know what does he will reply? You know that, okay? Sir, I have read your paper. And can you please give me your simulation code? Come on, man. What do you want to do? I want to do research. Okay. Then he'll not answer. First of all, identify the people. It's very important in your profession or your professional growth. The good researchers, the professors, the researchers, they are always willing to help and they are always willing to collaborate. Okay? If you read 40 papers in 40, 50, 60 papers in a domain, you know lots of stuff, and you say, sir, I have read your paper. I just was wondering, did you consider this thing? If yes, how did you tackle this problem? Now, whenever you write this sort of email, the guy will say, okay, seems that this guy knows something. He might be a useful resource. Say, oh no, I didn't consider this one. However, I considered this thing, and that's how I achieved this. So you may, so what, sir? I just want your good opinion about what if I choose this stuff. If we try to tackle this one, do you think, and considering that you are a great researcher, जरा थोड़ा सा उसको वो जरूरी होता है भाई, ठीक है ना? Because it seems like by looking at your papers, I have read these papers of yours, so you seems to be the most knowledgeable, इतना नहीं, most नहीं कहना, you seem to be a knowledgeable person. उसको पता चल गया ना कि ये मुझे जो है वैसे ही बांस पे चढ़ा रहा है, ठीक है, अच्छा ठहर सो बस हिसाब का उसको थोड़ी सी रिस्पेक्ट दें, थोड़ा सा मक्खन लगाएं और अपनी बात उसको बता दें. ओके, आई वॉन्ट टू डू दिस थिंग. डू यू थिंक इट्स अ वर्दी वे or a worthy problem to consider? As I am a graduate student, your expert opinion will be highly valuable and very helpful to me. I'll be very thankful to you. I really appreciate your time, efforts, and your support. Thank you. It's really important. We never do it. Because first of all, we don't know how to write an email. When to write an email, what to write it into the email, how to contact a professional guy. He is not free to read your junk of mails or lots and lots of paragraphs, just copy and paste it something. No, never do it. He will just put you into the spam. If you show the professor that you are worthy, you are really interested, he may ask you, okay, I have a student funding available. You want to come and join my group? You are done. You are done with your graduate studies. Try to find good people, good labs, good groups. And try to join them. That's how people join the groups. The people doesn't come to you and say, okay, I want to interview you. No, it doesn't happen. You have to show yourself. Do some really great work. Go to a conference. You meet a guy over there. Ask him. Say, sir, may I join your group for an internship for 1 month? Can I use your resources? Can you give me your data set? These are the things to ask. And eventually, if the guy considers that you are worthy and you are interested, they will definitely give all their resources to you because you are extending their work. You are in collaboration with them. You will put their names in your publications. Publications are not like this. कि मैं तुम्हारा नाम डालूंगी तुम मेरा डाल देना, ठीक है? It's not like that. It's buddy authorships. It's highly non-professional. It's very dishonest thing that happens. Okay? So this is key things. No one told us. I'm telling you to try to work over it. But first of all, make yourself worthy to present yourself. Okay? And it's not difficult. Just put a little midnight oil. Burn your midnight oil. Not in texting and calling, but in researching. We always burn our midnight oil in watching movies, in playing games, in texting, in calling, in watching the third class dramas. So it's time to move a bit. Okay? It's time. Be professional. Try to be professional. We are not professionals, honestly. But we can try. We may try to be professionals. Okay? So, do not ask for the code and help in the starting emails. I do not want your help. I want to just discuss my concerns, my findings, my assumptions. Okay? You're fine. And use Google Scholar and other database and search engines like CiteSphere, etc. to search. How much time is left? Okay, we still have like 10, 15, 30 minutes. Namaz is at 1:20. I have to go as well. Don't tell me. So I'll be skipping Google Driver, one slide, and you know that guy. And there's an assignment. I told you today is different. It's your first assignment. See, I didn't give you any assignment in more than a month. So you have to read at least 40 pages. Okay? At least. Third semester guys, okay? This is mainly for you. But the first semester guys, it's for you as well. But the intensity is a bit different, okay? Expectations are a bit different. So the first semester, guys, you are supposed to implement whatever we have read till today, specifically how to read a paper, okay, and try to understand. Third semester, guys, this exercise will result in your synopsis and a highly well written survey paper. Okay? If you read 40 papers in your area, it means you have enough information to write a survey. Okay? So the core requirement or expectation is your very well written synopsis and very crisp, narrowed down problem statement. That's the best this course can do for you. Okay? For first semester, guys, you also have to write a survey, but expectations are not that high. But you should try to be better than the third semester students. For the first semester, guys, this should enable you to gather all the stuff in this semester and in the next semester, so that whenever you step into the third one, you should be ready to go with your synopsis. Go to present your synopsis and start your research, and fourth semester just appear for the final presentation and get lost. Okay? Okay, how you have to do it? Write a generic summary for all the papers. These 40 papers means the papers only from the IEEE ACM transaction or some very highly cited paper from elsewhere or other journals, but highly reputed journals in your area. One. Second, the papers from the top tier conferences. Paper should be at least more than 8 pages if it's a conference. Okay, because the good conferences, their papers are 12, 10 pages, generally 10 to 12 pages. 6 papers are considered short papers, and 2 short papers makes 1 long paper. Okay, in your case, these 40 papers means the ones that you will be considering in your research that should be closely related to your area. And for these 40, you may have to go lots. You have to go through first pass of maybe 100 papers or so. Okay, clear? Clear? Yes. Good. When you write a generic summary, just mention the reasons why did you choose it for further passes, second or third, or why did you ignore. Okay. Note down summary and references and cluster gather similar papers together. Okay. This will automatically make your taxonomy. Paper is sort of abusing language detection using expert systems, using machine learning, using this. Machine learning may again neural networks, SVM, whatsoever. Okay? Clear? Okay, choose 20 papers for the second pass. Now I am narrowing down. You have to go through first pass of 20 papers. It will give you enough details what people have done. Then you have to choose just 20 papers for the second pass. Must be closely related to your area of interest, should give you significant insights to the domain. And finally, choose 10 papers for the third pass. Okay? Closely related to your problem. That should be very closely tied to your problem. And choose one base paper to improve or work closely. At least one paper to whom you will compare your work. Okay? Don't get sort of how we'll do it. I'm not going to get this one in next week or so. Maybe I can give you how much time for the first pass? Even if I give 2 months, you will do it in the last day. So that's why we'll take we'll split all the tasks, and then we'll give deadlines. For example, what we may say is the deadline for downloading the papers, selecting and downloading the papers, maybe next week. It's not a big deal. Then maybe after a week or so we can say, okay, for selecting 40 papers. I'm telling you again, do not do it as you do it for other subjects, or as we are used to do it. Please, it will harm you by just choosing some papers. It would be great that if you people may find or make little clusters of 2 or 3 or 1, depends, to be working in a big area. However, like the area might be same, and for the first semester students, you should join some third semester students. Okay? वो आपको ना बताएं, do let me know. Okay? I'll cut their marks. So it's how it works. It should work. You are seniors, you know. You are supposed to have more knowledge. You should try to give them. For example, first of all, try to find what is your area of interest. You want to go to networks, you want to go to machine learning, you want to go to databases, you want to go to image processing, you want to go to any other stuff or field you want. Okay, then try to find someone. We may ask next week, your first like mini assignment, just practice assignment was to choose your area and find the journals and your conferences. Okay, we may have a little presentation or something like that. Okay, so who is the CR? Kamran. Okay, ask him to gather a single slide from all of you in one slide regarding your name, area of interest, why did you choose this area of interest, just a couple of lines. सर मैंने इसलिए किया कि वो मेरी सहेली से मिल कर रही है, no like that. Okay, ठीक है जी. आप इतने परेशान क्यों रहते हैं? आप शादीशुदा हैं आप? अभी. Okay, just kidding. Okay, so so that all of us may know what might be the overlapping areas, then you should be very careful so that your areas should be distinguished. Main area है, हो सकता है सब area different हो, और बिल्कुल जो आपका narrow down area है वो बिल्कुल ही different होना चाहिए. However, you can actually back each other. आप एक दूसरे की help कर सकते हो, उसको बता सकते हो, discuss कर सकते हो. Discussion is very important. Do actually make discussions with the fellow students, fellow researchers working over there in the lab. Although you know,